Hey, what is going on YouTube? It's your boy Freakeasy Gaming coming at you with another video. And today Hey, what's going on YouTube? Welcome back to another video. In today's video, I want to talk about Fallout 76, and more specifically, I want to talk about a Fallout 76 story prediction. And what I mean by this is essentially I'm going to be trying to predict the story for Fallout 76. And for those of you who need a little more clarification on what I mean by that, is if you guys remember Fallout 4, spoiler alert, if you have not played Fallout 4, if you guys remember in Fallout 4, the main story was you had to find your son who had been taken from you. You eventually find your son, but it's not everything that you expected it to be. And that's kind of what the whole story, the whole main premise of the game, the whole main missions, and the whole campaign of the game is about, if you want to call it that. And that's kind of what the whole main story of Fallout 4 is. And in today's video, I want to do a Fallout 76 story prediction. So I want to picture out, I want to predict. Essentially, in this video, I'm going to be predicting the main story, or what I think is going to be the main story for Fallout 76. What the game's going to revolve around, what the campaign's going to be about, the main missions are going to be about, or whatever you're going to call it, or whatever you want to call it. In this video, I just want to do strictly a Fallout 76 story prediction. And I don't want to, I'm not going to be talking about any gameplay mechanics or anything like that. So we're just in this video, as the title says, and as I said a couple of times already, we are going to be solely predicting the story for Fallout 76 and trying to, predict it, and hopefully we're right. Now guys, I think I have a pretty good prediction here, and I hope you guys think I do too at the end of the video. Let me know what you think. And I kind of have a really strong theory, or I have a really good idea, and I think it's a really strong theory. But before I could explain the theory to you guys and kind of explain to you what I think the story is going to be about, we have to look at a few pieces of background information first. First, we have to understand what Vault 76 is and kind of how Vault 76 started. The second piece of information that we're going to have to look at are some stuff from the teaser trailer, which was dropped not too long ago, which is kind of where the Fallout 76 announcement came. We're going to be looking at some stuff from there, but it shouldn't take long, and I should be able to tell you guys and hopefully explain to you perfectly what I think the Fallout 76 story or main campaign is going to be about. So guys, with that said, let's go ahead and get into the story predictions. And I'm going to have to give you guys a little background information first on Vault 76 before we get into it, like I said. So two pieces of key information that we're going to have to look at here are from the Citadel, and they're from the Citadel, and essentially explains the history of Vault 76. And those two key pieces of information are here. Background. The Vault-Tec terminal in the Citadel lists Vault 76 as a control vault located in Virginia with 500 occupants. The vault was designed to open 20 years after a nuclear war and was among the 17 known control vaults, meaning that it was used as a baseline to compare to experimental vaults. It is also mentioned in one of the alien captive recording logs recorded by Giles Wolfencraft, a Vault-Tec official who had been abducted while inspecting the Vault's construction site in Fallout 4. The newsreader in the prologue mentions Vault 76 debuting in 2076 in honor of America's tercentenary, I believe that's how you pronounce it, when discussing Vault-Tec's plans to expand. And essentially what that means is Vault 76 was revealed on America's 300th birthday. And now we have to look at the second piece of information. We kind of got everything we needed from the first part, but this helps me explain it just a little bit better, and hopefully you guys can understand what I'm trying to do with the story prediction here. So it then goes on to say this: official Vault-Tec info from the computer at the Citadel. Vault number 76 started construction February 2065, ended construction October 2069. Occupants 500, duration 240 months. Computer system brain power 4. Primary power supply light life geothermal. secondary power supply, General Atomics nuclear power, and standard equipment, non-standard equipment, none. Now, the biggest key piece of information that we have to look at here is the duration, 240 months, which is 20 years. So this means that Vault 76, when it was unveiled in the year 2076 in the Fallout universe, when it was unveiled, it was essentially designed to open up 20 years after the bombs had fallen. And the bombs fell, if you guys remember, the Great War took place in 2077. So 20 years from 2077 would be 2097. That would be 20 years from 2077. It would be 2097. Yeah, hopefully I got that right the first time. However, we know that the vault doors did not in fact open in 2097. If we look at the teaser trailer, there is a Pip-Boy 2000 with an alarm going off on the table, and that alarm can be seen here. As you see, it says 27th October 2102, 6:34 a.m. And later in the trailer, we see the Pip-Boy again. But before we see the Pip-Boy again, we see a kind of celebration in the hallway that took place, where it's a big old banner in the middle, happy celebrate Reclamation Day. And reclamation means the reclaiming or reinstating of something, if I remember from English class correctly. So this means this is the day that everyone was supposed to go out and reclaim the vault. However, like we said, the year was 2102 when we looked at the Pip-Boy for the first time. This means somewhere in there was a 5-year delay, because we know that Vault 76 was supposed to open up 20 years after the bombs had fell, which means it would have opened up in 2097. However, the vault is opening up in 2102, which is 5 years later than planned. So it seems somewhere in there was a 5-year delay. And that 5-year delay is very important to kind of my prediction of the Fallout main story. And then after we see this celebration hall, like I said, we see the Pip-Boy 2000 again on what appears to be our character's wrist, or what's going to be our character's wrist. And I know it's kind of hard to see, but if you zoom in, I could kind of zoom in right here on my computer. If you zoom in, it says 27th October 2102, 6:41 a.m. So literally 20 minutes after the alarm had gone off, your character appears to be suiting up, putting on his Pip-Boy, and getting ready to go out into the wasteland for the first time. And that's kind of what the trailer leads us to believe. However, guys, I do not think this is the character's first time going out into the wasteland. I think the vault doors did open up in 2097 like Vault-Tec had planned, which was 20 years after the bombs had fell. I think the vault doors did open up in time. I think they did go outside, or a large group of them, all 500 of them, the occupants. I think a lot of them did go outside. However, I think a lot of them died. I think a lot of them got sick or killed by raiders, super mutants, whatever have you. I think some kind of catastrophic event happened outside the vault, and it killed a majority of them, and only a select few people actually made it back inside the vault, where they remained for another 5 years until they kind of worked up the courage or had a reason to actually leave the vault. And what leads me to believe that they were already outside the vault is not because there was just a 5-year delay, but if you look at the teaser trailer, you will see in the teaser trailer, on this bed right here, there's a Jangles the Moon Monkey, there is a Fallout blanket, Vault-Tec blanket, but the most two important items in this picture are probably the fedora and the backpack. And if we look at this backpack, it looks like it has dirt, dust, grime, and nastiness on it. It looks like it's seen the wasteland and it's been out there for a little bit, or it was out there at one point. So guys, this made me question, who does this fedora belong to? Does it belong to kind of what we assume, and what we can only assume is the main character who's suiting up to go out outside into the world? In my opinion, I think not. Because later in the trailer, we see what appears to be a TV screen, and on this TV screen we have a Vault-Tec announcer, or the guy, a news anchor essentially, saying, when the bombs fall and the radiation clears, it'll be up to you guys to rebuild. And he's talking to Vault 76. And we see this kind of on the television set right here. However, like I said, the fedora is important to my theory, and if you zoom in, you will see what appears to be a man and a wife standing next to each other right at the top and right at the top right hand corner of kind of where the vault is. If you look right under Vault 76, you'll see the podium and the announcer right there, and to the left of the announcer, you'll see a guy in a trench coat. And this man appears to be more important than everyone else because he's looking out at them. And if you look in his hand, we see what appears to be a fedora. So I'm assuming that this man right here is the overseer, or was the overseer of Vault 76, and his wife standing next to him. I think essentially the overseer is going to be your parent and or your father in the game. I think the overseer here, I'm assuming he's the overseer, and that's kind of important to my theory. Like I said, it is a theory and it's not 100%, a thing. But if this guy is the overseer, that means it's possible that our main character is going to be the son and or daughter of the essentially the overseer who's holding the fedora here. I'm assuming he's the overseer because he's looking at everybody, and it would make sense that if Vault 76 was being unveiled, they would have the overseer who's going to be the overseer of that vault there, and most likely he would be in front because he's a very important person. And the reason why I believe this is going to be the parent of our protagonist, because if we go back to the shot inside the room, we see a Jangles the Moon Monkey next to the fedora. If you zoom out a little bit and you look under the bed, you see a bunch of toys under there. And this leads me to believe that the the Vault leaders or the overseer had a child, and that child, like I said, is going to be your character. And it seems like these are all the toys that they kind of collected, your character collected over the years. I think your character was born in the vault, grew up inside the vault, and I don't think he knows anything about the outside world, or a lot about the outside world, or the wasteland, if you will. I think your character, your main character, is going to be born in the vault, and he's going to have lived in the vault his entire life. So now that I explained that the overseer is most likely going, or in my opinion, is most likely going to be your parent in Fallout 76, I think everything went smoothly with Vault 76. I think the vault doors did open up 20 years after the bombs had fell, like Vault-Tec had planned, and like we've seen in the plans, it was designed to open up 20 years after the bombs had fell. I think everyone left, all 500 occupants went out into the wasteland. However, I think a lot of them died, probably including the overseer and your parents. And then you and a select few, just a few people, were able to make it back into the vault, where you guys remained another 5 years until there was a reason to go out into the wasteland, and or a purpose to go out into the wasteland. And I believe the fedora on the bed is essentially the only remainder and reminder that our main character would have of their parents. It's the last something they have from them. And I think since your father or your parent was the overseer, I think once they die and once everybody retreats back into the vault, where they remained, like I said, for another 5 years, once everybody kind of died in 2097 and everyone made it back into the vault and stayed for another 5 years, I think the responsibility of overseer fell with you. And I think the purpose of the overseer in Vault 76 would have most likely been to rebuild, because we see this in the trailer. When the man is talking, he is saying, when the radiation clears, it's up to you guys to rebuild. He doesn't say that exactly, but he says something along those lines. He says, it's up to you guys to rebuild.
But when the fighting is stopped and the fallout is settled, you must rebuild.
And I think that's kind of the purpose of Vault 76, was to open up really soon after the bombs fell, 20 years, right? It was a purpose. The Vault 76 purpose was to open up 20 years after the bombs fell and kind of reestablish humanity after the atomic, war. And I think that, like I said, that was the purpose of Vault 76, and that was the Overseer's job, to make sure everybody made it alive, and to make sure that he reestablished humanity 20 years after, like he was supposed to. However, I think something catastrophically happened outside the vault. I think most of the people died, and only the character that you're playing as, which would be the Overseer's son or daughter, I think all of them made it back into the vault, or just a select few of them made it back into the vault, including your character, and everyone else kind of died outside the vault, and your character and a select few probably remained in the vault for another 5 years, until they felt comfortable going out into the wasteland once again, and or had a purpose or reason to go out into the wasteland once again. And I think all the responsibility of the Overseer, since the Overseer probably died and was your parent, I think all that responsibility fell on your character to essentially go out into the world and rebuild. So that's my theory, guys. And I hope it makes some sense to you. It might not. It makes sense to me. But I'll try to explain it one more time, very briefly, very quickly, so I don't take up a lot of your time. So what my theory is that essentially what Fallout 76 is going to be about is rebuilding, establishing settlements, stuff like that, right after the bombs had fallen. I think we're going to see a new Fallout universe, and I think it is going to be a completely new Fallout universe, because this would be the earliest we've seen the wasteland, if you will, after the bombs had fallen. We're literally seeing it 25 years after the bombs had fell. The earliest we've seen the wasteland in any Fallout game. I think that your parents were the Overseers. I think that everything went smoothly. The vault opened up 20 years in 2097 like it was supposed to. I think all the occupants exited the vault. I think most of them died, and only a few of them made it back into the vault, where they remained another 5 years until they felt comfortable going back out into the wasteland. And when your parent died, when the Overseer died, which would have been your parent, I think all the responsibility of Overseer fell back on you, and now it's your job to kind of rebuild the wasteland, and and kind of lead Vault 76 to salvation through settlement building and stuff like that. Anyways, guys, that's what I think Vault 76, or that's what I think Fallout 76 is going to be about. What do you guys think it's going to be about? Do you guys think I'm right? Do you guys think I'm wrong? I hope I explained this properly. My eyes are really bloodshot, as you could tell. I'm really tired. I worked really hard on this theory, and I hope you guys enjoy it, and I hope you guys like it, and I hope that it makes a lot of sense, because it does. Because if you connect all those dots, it starts to seem possible. But then again, it's kind of hard to predict a story, because one little element that I'm off and I'm completely wrong. But hopefully I'm at least semi-right, or I'm actually right. But we'll see on June 10th when Bethesda Game Studios announces or shows more of Fallout 76 off. Anyways, guys, hope you did enjoy this video. If you guys did, please be sure to drop a like, comment, and subscribe, as it really does help the channel grow. I hope to see you guys right back here in the next video. If you guys want to watch more of me, see more of me, please be sure to go ahead and follow my Twitch. Link is down in the description below. It would really help me out, and I would love to see you guys in my Twitch chat. I'm going to be trying to play Fallout 4, Fallout New Vegas, Fallout 3, and then hopefully by that time Fallout 76 will be out, and hopefully we'll get to play that. Hopefully we'll end right around the time, but who knows when Fallout 76 will be released. But hopefully we'll have time to play 1 or 2 Fallouts before Fallout 76 is actually released. Anyways, guys, love each and every single one of you. Thank you for watching. Hope to see you guys right back here in the next video. But until then, remember to stay freaky. Bye, everyone.